Hello everyone, welcome back to the Corso workshop live stream. I am Kurt and I'm very happy to be back after taking a brief break last week to enjoy Chief's birthday. Chief is not here with us today. She's she's going to join remotely. Um, but today I have a very interesting project. I think it's something that I wanted to do for quite a long time, close to about what 13 years, 14 years. It's a very simple project, so at least it should be simple and we shouldn't have a lot of trouble getting around to doing it. Now if you have actually read the title, you will notice that today we'll be making a prop from Naruto, or Naruto as we know it over here, and basically we'll be making kunai, which is ninjas throwing knife that is depicted in the anime or the manga, whichever you follow. So yeah, however, before we get started, I have a few things to share and showcase. First of all, I have just released a short teaser to next week's to the next project video that I'll be uploading. I'm very happy to say that finally I've managed to finish and edit completely the next project. It's a quiver. It's another quiver, but this is a bit of a different take on it. The quiver that I made can be worn both on the belt as well as on the back for the sort of Robin Hood style kind of arrow draw. So yeah, the feature for that video is uploaded on my Facebook page, so go ahead and check it after the live stream. You can follow the links in the description, and yeah, just leave a like, share, and leave any feedback. The feature usually is just the intro bit that I do at the beginning of the video, but I'm so happy that finally I have managed to finish the video, and it will be uploaded, I believe, next Saturday in its full glory. And I hope that you do enjoy it. I did make a little bit more of an effort on this one, and I think personally it reflects it. So yeah, so that's the first announcement. So make sure to go check the Facebook page so that you see what I've been up to. Secondly, I would like to. Oh yeah, by the way, before I forget, that actual video was made in collaboration with the Archery in Malta archery range. A good friend of mine, Ray, runs it, and we have worked on this project together. It was more of a commission kind of thing, but I mean, he was very kind enough to allow me to sort of shoot some footage of the premises, and I think the I would like to thank everyone involved in it. It's a good video. Go check it out. Second, I would like to thank my good friend Jason from Jay's Comics. He's been on the live stream before. We'll be doing collaborations in the future as well. We have some projects lined up, and I can't share just yet. I'm super excited for them. But I would like to thank him for recently I got a comic from him, and he also very generously included some doodles of Iron Man and Geralt from The Witcher. These are his own sketches, and they're actually quite amazing, and I'm so happy to have them. Yeah, these will go into my collection. Thank you very much, Jason, for sending them over. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Jason runs a Facebook group called Jay's Comics. There's all sorts of news on comics, movies, geeky stuff, and we'll be adding more to it later on as my friends and I have a few things planned, and they'll be shared there as well as on the Corso workshop, so that you can keep up to date. Just to be clear, it's not going to be a Corso workshop project, so if you're just into making and not into geeky stuff, it might not be your kind of project to follow, but I would appreciate if you gave it a shot just the same. I know that many of you who follow me sort of have the same interest as I do, so that would be very interesting, I think, to share with everyone anyway. So yeah, but Corso Workshop will still obviously keep on making the projects, the making stuff that we're doing, the live stream every Sunday, with a few tweaks here and there as we go along, and the project videos when they come out, because it's kind of difficult at the moment to manage all the workload that I have, but certainly have not given up. I got another video lined up after the next set, so that's something to look forward to. Okay, without any further ado, let's talk about today's project. Now, you might remember from a few weeks back, we made this foam axe. This was made for Ray, the same owner for the archery range. I still have to make another 3 or 4 of these in different styles, but the foam axe is meant to be a sort of a harmless or a relatively harmless prop, to sort of display, take photos with, that sort of thing. And I think this came out quite decently, which sort of gave rise to the project that we're going to be doing today, which is a very similar technique. Similar techniques will be used for this, it's just a different approach on how to work on them. We'll be making the kunai, the ninja throwing knife from Naruto, using EVA foam, which is the same material as this. However, we'll be finishing it slightly bit different. This, if I recall, we used a slight coating of PVA glue, which made the shell somewhat hard. It could also be that the paints that I used made the shell kind of hard. This time we're going to be using something different. We'll be using Plastidip, which is a rubber, a rubber aerosol kind of thing. It is incredibly pungent, so I wouldn't recommend using it in an enclosed space. In fact, I don't think I'll be using it on live stream. I'll just tell you that I'm going to use it. I'm just going to do it during the week so that I can let it air without disturbing like everyone around me and without actually inhaling it myself. So there's that. So we'll be using Plastidip this time, which should give it a bit of a rubbery, coating, which should protect it. We'll be using acrylic paints, spray paints, everything which is accessible. But this video is going to be split into two different parts. Today we'll be doing the main part of the construction, or hopefully we'll try to do that. And hopefully next time, which is going to be in 2 weeks' time, because next week we'll have a live stream bot on Instagram. We're going to change it up a little bit, as I won't be home. But yeah, basically we'll be we'll be doing the paint job and everything else in this part too. Okay, so first let's say hi to everyone in chat. Hi Apisauri Atelier, Melissa, good to have you with us again. In fact, Apisauria, Melissa is one of the people who's involved in the secret project that I'm working with Jay on, along with Avelina, another guest I've had on the live stream in the past. They're very good friends of mine. Really looking forward to publishing our project. We have Chief Trisha with us. She's on chat today. She's not with us in the shop, but she's on chat anyway. She'll be keeping an eye and making sure that I am on track. So what kind of materials are we going to use now? Well, as I said, we'll be using EVA foam, and I have some over here, but there are different kinds of EVA foam, and I'm not quite sure whether I'll be using the thinner kind. This is the floor mat foam. It's textured on one side and smooth on the other. Now, obviously, this does present some problems because obviously I would like to get rid of this texture, because if I'm going to glue up, it's going to have issues and blah 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 blah. However, if I manage to sort of glue it together and press it hard enough, perhaps I can manage to get rid of the texture, maybe leave a cleaner edge. I'd rather not sand it off. It would generate a lot of dust. We'll be doing sanding anyway. It's just, hopefully I'm trying to minimize it. I have to have the fan on. It's deadly hot in here. So if I start sanding with the fan on, it's going to go everywhere. It's a hassle. Now, a kunai, for those of you who don't know, perhaps I can sketch one. What is this? I have no idea what this is, but let's use a fresh piece of paper. Okay, so a kunai basically is a throwing knife, right? Which has the, let me see if I can get you a little bit closer. Basically, the kunai is like a rhombus shaped weapon, obviously symmetrical, which I have failed to do immediately. Okay, comes sort of to this diamond point and has this kind of bevel, like three-faced bevel. And there's the hand. Obviously, the scale is way off. There's the handle, which is sort of wrapped, and then there's this loop at the bottom. Obviously, this is not to scale, so when I'm going to start sketching it, I'm going to actually try and keep the scale relevant to my hand. So yeah, so basically kunai looks something like this. I don't know if it's very clear on camera, but that sort of thing. So this is the point. There's the three bevels. Obviously, it's mirrored on either side, so we'll need to make two faces. There's this handle, and then there is the loop down here. Now I'm planning on making this in 3 bits, right? Now the first bit is going to be the weapon head, the pointy bit, and that we're going to definitely make out of EVA foam, which is going to be sort of sandwiched together. Okay, so to give it a little bit of thickness, so we can sand off, we can bevel, we can do whatever we want to it. Next, we're going to use the handle. We're going to use this PVC pipe that I had lying around in my workshop. It's incredibly cheap. You can get meters of it for a couple of euros or dollars or whatever your currency is. Incredibly cheap. I've used this before in props and it holds up just fine. It will be a short bit, so it's even tougher to bend. Obviously, you won't have the leverage, but you know it's quite useful. And I think this is a decent enough thickness. I think this is what 10 centimeter, 10 mil. I mean, 2 centimeters outer diameter. Outer diameter is 2 centimeters. Um, so yeah, feels like a good comfortable grip. And the bottom part, which is the loop, is going to be made out of EVA foam. I was thinking of having like one layer of this, but obviously noting this, this is going to be an issue because the foam is thinner than the rod, so it will have like this kind of um, I don't know. It's like it doesn't really work well. I think what I could do is, however, if I use the rod and one um, sort of layer of this, I'm going to obviously have to sand off the texture. I'm going to have to round obviously everywhere. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try. But then the wrapping that I'm going to have on the handle can go in and extend beyond this sort of bit, so it covers up the joint, which is obviously thicker than the EVA foam. Without any further chatting, really, let's just go ahead and start sketching our template. Folded piece of paper to have a symmetrical template, and I think first off I need to see how much of the PVC pipe I kind of need. I kind of recall the kunai sort of being very close to the knuckles and even at the bottom, so it's just literally just enough space to make to hold it with one hand. So this is probably like the it's probably like what we'll use. It's just a rough sketch. Oh, okay. Excuse me while I sharpen my pencil. Let me mute the microphone. Okay. Ooh, okay. Cool. So I know that the PVC pipe is 20 mil, so I'm going to have to take like half that thickness. I'm going to say this is one. Okay, we're going to join this. So this is going to be my handle. Now we'll worry about the wrapping later on. I was thinking of having like thin EVA foam. I've got some 2 mil up there in the corner. I could use some soft cotton as well, which is white. I'll explore that obviously after painting, because that's like one of the finishing touches. You need to have all the paint done before you start wrapping it anyway. We could also, you know, toy around with leather. I kind of dislike using leather when I'm making foam props, because leather is quite expensive and it's not going to add any particular value to a foam prop. Like the limiting factor in quality in a foam prop is the prop itself, not the leather wrapping that I'm going to be using. But we'll see. We'll toy around with it later. I need a compass. Now, in terms of like width of the circle, I think something like this should do just fine. So I'm going to just mark it quickly. I got a cheapo compass here, so I can make like quick circles. Okay. So I might have underestimated the amount of paper to use, but I can always cut this out of a different piece of paper. And in fact, that's what I'm going to do later. I'm just going to eyeball the center bit, and then obviously I'm going to cut this out of another piece. Oh wait, what did I do? I made a mistake. Why did I do it from there? It doesn't make much sense. I need to um, float this. Oh, come on. I need it to I need the diameter of the circle to go through the the symmetrical line. So I'm just going to catch this again. I'm going to remove the extra line. Just to give me an idea. Mostly for scale for the rest of the prop. Okay. So now I think the the remaining length is a good size to have. In inches, it's almost exactly 6 inches. So I think I want to have like the first third on the first bevel and then the rest coming to a point. So a third of 6 is 2 inches. Let's just do this to sort of construct. Okay, now how wide do we want this to be? Kind of think that like an inch is decent, perhaps an inch and a half. Let's start with an inch and a half. We can always take off later. So that's an inch and a half over there. We're just going to connect it to this part of the handle, and we're going to connect it to the tip of the paper, the edge corner. And I think overall that looks right. Yes, that looks right. I don't know again if you can see it properly on camera because of the light, but yes, it's basically one half of the prop that I want. Well, one quarter technically, a half of the template. Now, obviously there will be a bevel in the middle, but that we can use the seam line itself. This won't have a bevel, it will have a bevel just one rather than on either side. I think we can actually start cutting out a template, starting off with this, so we can start cutting out foam, and then we'll work piece by piece. The PVC pipe, we can cut it with a hacksaw later, so that's not so much of an issue. I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife. Okay, put this to one side for now and cut the template out. Extra piece of paper. Okay, extra piece of paper. So this is our template. So the middle line will be the bevel. What we're going to do, let's just draw the line just to keep in mind that we need to bevel it. Okay, and obviously this needs to come to the line needs to be continuous. Okay, good. So this piece obviously will bend kind of inward and these will be like this. Cool, let's cut two pieces out of this EVA foam. Now I'm going to try and maximize on the foam. I do have some other pieces, but I'd rather not start with them, so I'm going to just use this part, these parts. So I can also just like mark the corner, so then I can join them. So what I do when I am templating on leather most of the time, instead of drawing the whole line, I just draw the edges. And let's see if we can maybe maximize on this. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use the edge as a straight edge, obviously, so that we keep everything nice and neat. Okay, edge tip over there. Now I'm just going to be joining the lines, the marks that we made. Okay. I would usually use like a silver. Oh wait, this we have a tear in it, so that obviously we won't be able to use. It's fine. We'll cut another piece from elsewhere. I wonder now whether I should be using. Yeah, let us redraw everything. It doesn't really matter because we're going to be painting obviously over everything. Okay. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's join the line so that we don't forget or get confused later on. I mean that we have a lot of marks now. Okay, so this is going to go there. Okay, oh wait, it's not quite accurate though. Should be a little bit better, yeah, over there. And then okay, so that's one that we need to cut out. I'm hoping like this line won't disrupt us moving forward, but probably won't. So we still have this over here, so let us do it this way. I wonder if I can just, yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to use like one of the sides of the template that I just traced, sort of to do one cut rather than two. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we're going to need a box cutter, utility knife, and we're just going to go and free these pieces. Okay, so okay, I'm going to try and sort of work with a smaller piece, which is always easier to do. Okay, let's finish off this piece first. That one and that one over there. So this is one piece. No, sorry, it's Naruto, not One Piece. Okay, lame joke. Never mind. That's the first piece, and this is going to be the second piece. sharpening on this box cutter. Okay. Okay, so I have those two pieces. Now what we need to do is glue them. Oh, yeah. Kind of forgot to mirror it around. So basically they fit better on each other this way. It's fine. We can make this work. We just need to glue them together and then cut off the excess, and I think we can make this work. Good. So I'm going to start by first roughly sanding with a low grit, like gently sanding. I'm not going to be generating a lot of dust. I'm just going to try and knock off most of the high spots. I think I used to have this to help me. I wonder if perhaps I should just go over on the belt sander, quickly turn off. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to do that. Excuse me just for a minute, I'm going to mute it so as I don't deafen you. Okay, we're back. It's very light sanding, very quickly. Had the vacuum on, so sort of trying to sort of take care of myself a little bit, of course. Now, need contact glue. So, contact cement. I've used this many times before. I've used this for leather working as well. It's two part, well, not two parts, like one part adhesive which you glue on both sides, let it dry a little bit, then once you touch it, it's done. I will also need some sort of weight to sort of try and fuse as many faces together. I'm trying to see what best to use. I think I'm going to put my sewing machine to good use today. Not by sewing, but by being a good weight. Okay, so okay, camera seems a little bit better. Okay. Just going to use the same metal spatula that I use for leather working to work with this stuff. It's just to spread it around evenly. You can use brushes, you can use like silicone stuff. I may have put on a little bit much on this, but it's very important to, in this case, when making these sort of two-sided, two-part props, it's very important to uh, go all the way to the edge. Oh, yeah, I definitely over glued. This will take some time to dry. I need to get some kitchen rolls. Actually, no. Okay. There was a roll of toilet paper, which will do just fine. Let's leave it over there. I'm just going to be cleaning up the excess. So that if possible, to not have it all over our work surface. Okay, I'm just going to remove the excess from the foam props as well, so that I am able to sort of deal with it and not have to wait ages for it to dry. That should work. Now, let's squeeze out over here. Most of this is going to be cut off, so I'm not really that bothered by it. Okay, so let's wait for tacky, but not wet. Let's have a go. Yeah, I think this is the best way to do it is buttons first, and maybe find like a suitable. Yes, okay. I'm going to need to press on it a little bit. I'm just going to use the flat surface of the base. I don't really need to press on it for the glue to adhere. I just need to press on it so that the texture sort of grips with itself. That's all I'm doing with the pressure. If we take this, that's perfect. Perfect. Okay, so we could give this a few minutes to dry. While this cures, we can continue shaping it. But in the meantime, yeah, I definitely need a new cutting mat after today. Time to go buy one. Okay, so we're going to start working on the PVC pipe, which honestly isn't a lot of work. I just need to trace the amount. I have a clean side on one already, just looking for my pencil. So just let's give it a little bit of extra, so we can always, first of all, we need to put in the head. So I think about that much should be okay. And maybe a little bit over here. So yeah, let's cut over there. Okay. Also have to clean it with solvents later. Well, thank God for that chemistry set I bought 10 years ago. Not that I ever used it for chemistry, but anyway. Cool. Okay. I'm going to use one of my favorite pieces of equipment that I own. I have this quite useful Japanese double-sided saw. It's both for crosscuts and for ripping. Okay. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just go. I mean, ideally you wouldn't use this, but this blade is old anyway, so might as well use this. And it really chews through it. Okay, that's enough. Let's get the burrs out of the way. Ooh, okay. Okay, let me just. Good. Hydrate. Okay. We don't need this for now anymore. Just do a sweep later. So the idea is for this to go through the handle by about that much. So might as well go ahead and mark it somewhere around here. So then I'll know by how far the rod needs to go in the blade head, whatever. Okay, so I think honestly it could do with even another layer on top so that I can have the bevel down, because as it is it won't have much of a bevel. I think I might actually just cut another piece and um, yeah, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, definitely. You don't have to cut another piece. Let's see which part might be best to use. This part gives it a little bit more thickness. Just marking on the foam. It's enough for me to see and to cut. Okay, probably need to hone it a little bit as well. Foam is horrible on the blades. It really dulls them up quickly. So either have replacements on hand or just, you know, have them ready to be sharpened. Okay, cut that out, and this is cut over here, and this needs another cut over here. It's not symmetrical, I can tell already, but this is just to add a little bit of volume, so it's not going to really matter that much. I'm going to sandwich yet another piece over here. Okay, so once more. Actually, I think this time I'm going to do it like this because I'm going to bevel most of it off anyway. I'm going to use a little bit less this time. Come on. You can use other different kinds of glues, such as hot glue or super glue if you want. Super glue, I find that it's usually better to use when trying to attach details. So you can see already there's a little bit here which doesn't have glue. I have more glue on my hands than I have on the foam probably, which is normal. Okay, okay. All right. I wonder why the quality is so bad today. Okay, no, quality is good. Just my live feed was a little bit bad. Okay, so might have dried already. I'm just going to press it to make sure there's an even contact all around. Don't really need to get the weight out because it's flat against flat. Thank you, Chief. Okay. Alright. I think first off we need to do is just flush everything together. Make sure that um, everything makes sense. And now obviously this will go in there. I can mark it already. But once I shape everything down, I'm going to take a hole saw or a Forstner bit or something, a borer, and just bore through it so that I can affix this. Could probably just, if I sharpen this, I could just push it through. But I want to glue it up as well. Probably a hole saw will do. Okay, so we're going to be generating some dust now. So I'm going to open the door. I'll turn off the fan. I'm to wear a mask. I'm going to move over to the belt sander. Let me see. Yeah, you're going to have to. Yeah. Okay, so let me just move everything first while I, so then I can get ready. Okay. Just need to set up the tripod. Three and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me check about placement. This is as that's okay. That's okay. Cool. This can go. This can go out of the way. Now. So we're going to have to forgive me. I won't be able to see the chat while I'm working over there. And I'm also going to lower the volume a lot so that I really don't destroy your speakers or your ears. Even more importantly. Okay, in the meantime, I need one of my masks, which were here somewhere. I had masks. Oh, here they are. Simple dust masks. Far from the best solution, but a solution nonetheless. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let me just turn down the microphone volume. I think this, you might have just enough. Let me turn on the sender. Okay, it should be fine. I think in terms of noise, I think that's bearable. It should be very, very low. Okay. This thing, it smells of chemicals and ah, I need newer masks. Okay. They don't even fit properly, but anyway, it is what it is. This is what I have, and let's get to work. Let's see where this takes us. hope that was bearable. Okay, so let's move you back a little bit over here. To leave you over here, be able to see my workbench just fine. Okay, whew. It's definitely hot in here. Hydration. All right, so let me raise the volume. Okay, so this should be a better quality, as in terms of volume. So okay, so we managed to sort of like flatten everything together. I know I am noticing some issues where basically where the faces meet, there are some um, inconsistencies. But I think what I'll have to do is start forming this. Once it is formed, go back and fill in the gaps with either with some wood filler or I don't have any spot putty or bondo. I have polyester resin. I don't want to use it. It's incredibly stinky and dangerous to use. So probably wood filler will have to do. I could also mix up like a small batch of polyfiller as well, which is like the chalky substance. Okay, so I need to start making some marks to see where I need to. Let me get you up here anyway. I need to make some marks to start seeing where the bevels need to go. Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Cool. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay. So, oh no, everything's getting tangled up now. I swear, I usually am a lot more organized in the workshop than I am today. But anyway, this is what we have. Right, put it there. This is fine for now. Let's clear up a tiny bit at least. Come on. These are all extra pieces I don't need. Throw away. Okay. All right. Okay. So these we'll need later. This we can put to the side. Clean our workbench. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Okay. We'll have this ready for later. So let's mark some. We'll need to mark some bevels. Now, first off, I need to mark also where this will go. I'm going to try and sort of leave a little bit of a mark because this will dictate the gradient of the water. It doesn't need to be perfect. I mean, I'll try my best to make it look decent. But at the end of the day, it's just a prop as well, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. So that is okay. Needs to be a little bit better this one, so do I have a silver pen somewhere? Maybe up here. I think I have a golden one. Let's see if this works. Not much better, but keep on using the pen. So now this will need to go through the center. Now the center is about 3 inches wide. Makes sense. Okay, so this is the center, and we're going to make a line to the tip, the point of the. Of course, how can I be marking if the pen is not even? Okay, that's a good scribed line. Okay, and let's do the same over here. We said we're going to mark at 1.5 inches, somewhere there. And it's not exactly in the middle, is it? Must be further out. Oh, I see what's happening. Um, it's okay, we have a rough idea. Now, the gradient. Of course, gradient is going to matter over here because this is about an inch and a half thick. So, if we mark it over here, this should be our midpoint for this bevel. Again, I'm just going to be trying this out and eyeballing most of the work, the carving that we need to do. I'm going to try and maybe cut out rather than just sand as much as I can. Could probably use my bandsaw. I never use my bandsaw on foam. I know that you can do it. Perhaps we'll try it out. Okay? We'll see. So, something like that. I mean, again, I'm not dabbling in precision today. Okay, so uh-huh. Trying to think how because then after we do this, we need to obviously do this. This I'm just going to eyeball. This is the easiest cut to do because this we can do it on one side, it will be the same for the other. But this is a compound cut, which means I also have a line I have to work towards the middle. Right? Did I work this out wrong? No, first I need to do this cut. And then I need to do this cut. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So first I need to cut out this so it will be flat. And then I'm going to have to cut out the corners out. I can work it out in my mind. I'm going to try with the bandsaw. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to succeed. Far from it, I hate my bandsaw almost as much as I hate my sewing machine. Not hate it really. Hate is a very strong word. Like I dislike using it because I've never actually used them successfully. Mostly because I don't know what I'm doing. Probably never fault of the tool. As they say, I mean, a poor workman a poor craftsman blames his tool. So let's not blame my tools, let's blame myself. Just as same results anyway. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. Let's get the bandsaw out. Let's set it up. Let's go out of the way. Okay, so oh my, has some dust around it. Let's just see if we can quickly just a little bit clean it up. Yeah. Just mostly dust. Okay. So this is my band saw. It's quite difficult to show you. Just move things around a little bit more. This is the bandsaw. It's cheap Parkside one. Um, it's decent. I mean, I've seen a lot of people use it, and I've seen a lot of people get very good results out of it. So definitely, when it doesn't work, it is probably my fault. Now I'm noticing that you can't really see well. See if I, let's see if I can get you up on the. Yeah, let's go this over here. Yeah. Okay. You're going to have to see the tripod though from the webcam camera. This will do. Okay. So that's over there. I can probably lower you down so you can actually see. Coolio. Okay, so I'm a little bit nervous. I'll be honest. I am not very familiar with any bandsaw, let alone this one. Um, it works. Um, Now there should be easy ways for me to do this. I'm trying to think which would be the best way to do this though. So I know that this can tilt, so perhaps I can do that. But I think maybe I could have also just bandsawed the texture of now that I'm thinking about it. Perhaps start off with a slow, controlled. This one is going to be difficult to see what I'm doing unless I do it like this. No, it has to be like this because it needs to be symmetrical. Otherwise, we have a problem. Sorry, I'm trying to think out loud. Uh, thank you, Matt. I will try to be careful. I'm just going to come on. This always gets stuck. Okay, so let's get the guard up a little bit. Now, see. Okay, still works just fine. So I think this is the first cut we need to do carefully. I'm going to try and not obscure it, but hopefully my hand can go through. I'm going to be very careful. I am very wary of these power tools. So let me just lower the sound. You should be able to hear some sort of noise, um, especially with the machine on. Yes, chief. Okay. Luckily, it starts off like out of the way, so one last thing, safety precautions. Don't want anything flying into my eye while I'm using this. But I mean, it took some material. It took some material off. Um, Okay, so it did take some material off. I can actually show you here, like it is coming up to a point. See, I mean, it does help me a bit. Probably what I'm going to do is go back to the sender on this though. Gives me a lot better control on it. I'm going to try and cut out these, but I'm kind of perplexed on how to go about it. Probably do it on both sides and then come back on the sender, or just go to the sender immediately and start cutting out over there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So, I mean, this served its purpose. I'll be honest. It saved me some sending time for what, 30 seconds of work. I could have just as easily used a knife, to be honest. Well, just as easy. I could have just used a knife as well. So we'll clean this up later. For now, back to your place. Okay. Okay. For now, it's gonna stay there. Okay. Back to the. I can probably put you on the rolling stool. Yeah. Back to the sender. Roll you a little bit closer as well. Okay. Okay. So you can see the sender from over there. Perfect. Going to lower the sound again. Going to do some more shaping. Going to wear the chemical mask because it smells like chemicals. Open the door. Turn off the fan. The usual stuff. Oh god, this stinks. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, this should be a little bit better. Okay, so making progress, making progress, and this is why it's important to wear a dust mask. all this fine dust on my hands will go into your lungs, and that is not good, honestly. No kind of fine powder is good for your lungs. I still need to work a little bit more. Let me show you on camera. I still need to work a little bit better on this because over here the lines don't meet up quite nicely, and I still need to do the bevel on this side and then work on the corners to bevel them in. Um, I think I'm going to try and use like a knife. Close the door. Okay. Let's see if we can perhaps make this work with a knife. Okay. Man, it's hot. Okay. Perhaps I need a newer knife. Yeah, need a newer knife. Let's replace the blades somewhere here. Yeah. Okay. Should have a new blade as well here. So we'll take care of this later. Dispose of it properly. Use the blade from earlier. This one. Okay. And I am now out of spare blades. Which means a trip to the hardware store is very much due. Overdue, really. Okay. Should be super sharp. Okay. I'm just going to try and get close to what I'm to what I'm trying to do. Kind of need to, you know, shape this a little bit better. Now I might ruin this, but we're learning as we go along. I mean, I haven't done this in quite some time. And honestly, watching Bill Doran and Brittany Doran Punish Props team make it look so easy. Um, let's just we're shaping it a little bit roughly, but we will go back to the sender. Need to take off a little bit more chunk from here. Okay, probably start working on this, but no, we'll need the belt sander. Would it be easier if you heated the knife? No, actually. It's one of the materials that is not really affected by heat. Well, it burns rather and it melts. Not in the same way. It's also very dangerous. The fumes that this EVA foam lets out when laser cut or when burned are very toxic. So I wouldn't recommend it. If this were polystyrene, I would have used something hotter, like a styrol slicer, as the King of Venom used to call it, or a hot wire cutter, as it's more colloquially known. XPS foam can be cut in the same way. However, not EVA foam. EVA foam is very particular in this regard, so not ideal. So let me again put on the mask do some more shaping. Oh, it's already 5:15. Okay, moving on time. Good. So let's testing. Okay. Okay, so sound is better. Okay, so I think I'm done with the sanding and shaping, and the last thing I need to do with this is maybe hand sand it a little bit to get it where I want it to go. And okay, cool. I'm going to have to do a lot of cleanup after this. It really wasn't worth it. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this texture. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and just get rid of the extra burrs that there are. Perhaps do it like this. Yeah, it definitely isn't perfect, but I think for our purposes it will do just fine. given that our purpose is just a little bit of cosplay, perhaps. I think this will do just fine. Okay, cleaned up the edges well enough, I think. We can move on. I mean, it's a little bit lopsided, perhaps we can just clean it up with a little bit of sandpaper. Okay. Next, what we need to do next thing we need to do is put this in. I'm thinking maybe it's going to be tough. What if I wonder if I can shape this into a bit of a sharp tool. I'm just shaping the pipe into a bit of a sharper tool, so I can probably use this, like the pipe itself, to cut into the foam. Doesn't need to be super sharp, it just needs to, to just go through the foam, that's all. Feels sharp enough. Let's have a go. Well, not really sharp enough. But perhaps enough to kind of get the ball rolling. Let's see. What can we use? Perhaps this one? No, this is the air. I need the hole saw. Where is it? Hole saws should be somewhere here. No. Get back. Okay, let's get the tools that I need. Yep, there they are. Okay. Here's another problem. I don't have something so small. I don't know if a spade bit will work. It might. Let's try it out. I'm not sure if this will work. Let's try it out. Kind of looks like ruined, but I think I managed to make it work. Word up, there it is. Oh. Can cover most of our mistakes using the wrapping that I mentioned earlier. Okay. Yeah. And just, yes, okay. Okay, cool. It's starting to take form. Okay. Feel like we are today we are kind of like bumbling our way through this project. It's fun this way though. Alright, so don't need this I think what I'm going to do, however, for the circle, because I will never manage to make that perfect, I am going to 3D print that and see how that goes. Yeah. Okay. So I need to attach this on, and probably I'm going to use a spray adhesive. It's probably easier to get in there rather than the contact cement. What the basically I'm just sanding this so I have a little bit of a rough surface so that the glue adheres to it. Thank you very much, Episauria. Hydrate. Cool. Okay. Glue. Oh, there it is. Okay. Glue. I'm just going to take some masking tape and just cover the stuff, the parts that I don't want any glue on just yet. Okay. I'm going to do it to the side and behind the fan or outside. Okay. Have the glue and something like this should do. Also put a drop of CA glue if this doesn't work. Super glue will hold on just fine. There we go. Okay, I have a clean handle to work with. Just trying to force it a little bit further in so that it retains its shape. And use the exacto notch to clean up some of the edges. I might actually just go back and 3D print this whole thing, like 3D model and 3D print it. But we'll see. We shall see. Okay, so one last thing we need to do before we actually start wrapping up for today is to heat treat this. And well, heat treating is a very fancy word for it, but we need to put hot air on it so that we close up the pores of the EVA foam, and then sort of it seals it up. Okay. Okay. You need to use a very high temperature for this, so I usually use about 200 degrees. That's really, really hot. Be careful not to bend the PVC pipe. While it's still a little bit warm, I'm going to try and form it. When EVA foam is warmed up, it's very easily malleable. Okay, it feels like it's sealed. It's got a little bit of fuzz over here, but we'll have to see what happens with that. It's not half bad though for the kind of effort to put in it. It's not half bad. And I think that is where we are going to stop today. While we are still a little bit in control of the situation. I think though, I'm not very happy with this. I think I'm going to go back and 3D model and 3D print it. I might do it later on tonight. I might record it and upload it as a short or something. We'll see what we'll do with it. Yeah. So let us swap back cameras. If you give me just 1 second, I just need to move some things to get them out of the way so I can have the last parting words for this live stream today. Let's move this out of the way. Alrighty. Cool. Okay, so as a recap, working on a Naruto Kunai. We're still missing the loop at the back. That I think we're going to make it out of 3D printed for sure. The rest of it, I'm not quite sure. I think I might make the 3D printed one and then we'll see if I use either. But we'll see. So that's basically it for today. Honestly, it was a bit of a shorter video, but on the next step will be applying plastic dip, and that will be a bit of an intensive and a little bit of a not dangerous, but it's a nuisance because it stinks. You need to really take care and to ventilate properly. You need to do it outside, and you can't really use the webcams outside to do a live stream. At least not the ones that I have. So we won't have to stop here today. This is part one. There will be part 2 and part 3 maybe. We'll see. Depends on what we'll be making. It could be that we'll do part 2 as a 3D printed part. 3D modeling part. So yeah, next week we're not going to have a live stream on YouTube. Instead, I'm going to try and have a live stream on Instagram because I will not be home, but I should still have internet access. Not powerful enough to upload a live stream because the upload rate will be very low. However, using probably like 5G or something on my phone, we'll be able to have like a chat on Instagram. I will see if I can have guests on it as well. I've never tried it on Instagram. I think it will be interesting. So be sure to tune in. And if you don't follow us on Instagram yet, just go on Instagram, search Corso Workshop. There's also links in the description down below. Once again, thank you very much for joining me. I encourage you to go over to the Facebook page, Corso Workshop, and check out the featured trailer for the next project video, which is going to be a quiver. It's uploaded already. It was made in collaboration with Archery in Malta. So that's definitely something I was really looking forward to, and I'm very happy with the result. So I hope that you will enjoy it as well. So please go ahead, give it a like, share, subscribe, the usual stuff that really helps out the channel. So thank you very much for joining me. I am Kurt from Corso Workshop. I will see you in 2 weeks time on YouTube and next week on Instagram live. So take care, keep making stuff because it's really awesome to make stuff. Keep safe and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.